Very good morning to one and all. Hope you are happy with the concepts of fluid statics that what we were dealt in the earlier classes. Yes, we have gone through the different concepts of fluid statics and the different visual phenomena, just like what length of maximum straw I can use to suck the water from coconut, to the concept behind stability of the ship while floating in water. So this is all our journey of concept of a fluid statics with a different interesting concepts and different interesting applications. Of course. Now, the first point that I wish to mention here before getting into the next topic, you make sure that you are doing each and every question in the fluid statics practice paper without leaving. Of course, I spent some time to explain the numericals in the practice paper and to forward a video class also if required apart from live interaction. Of course, I discuss all the numericals in the live interaction section. But still, if required, I make a separate class for few more numericals and I send a video class to you. You don't worry. So just before entering into the next concepts of physics at 8th standard, first of all, you should be very sure with few concepts, just like it is mathematics in physics. Means we require few concepts of mathematics that is required to handle the concepts of physics. So in that, the first thing that we need, it is all about, first of all, for the sake of heading, it is simply to say coordinate geometry or coordinate system is one of the topics in mathematics that we need most while handling the concepts of physics, which is all about coordinate system. Of course, you have got the few basics of a coordinate system even at 7th standard which were explained, but still I wish to give more clarity at 8th standard which can't be handled again, which can't be revised, which will not be revised further at higher standards. So if you are having any gaps or blocks, you need to fill here itself. So what is a coordinate system first of all? Yes, coming to the point. See, this is a plane of the board. In this plane of the board, you have taken a point P. If you wish to locate the particular point in the plane of the board, yes, then you may say from this vertical edge of the board, it is at some horizontal distance, you may say. To locate this point exactly, it is at some horizontal distance from this vertical edge. But that is an incomplete information, because when you are going to explain it is at a horizontal distance from the vertical edge, you can have many more points which are at the same horizontal distance from that vertical edge. So which can't give the complete position of the particle in the plane. So that to explain the position of the particle in the plane, in addition to this horizontal distance from the vertical edge, some vertical distance from the horizontal edge to be mentioned. Then if you mentioned clearly the horizontal distance from the vertical edge and the vertical distance from the horizontal edge, yes, you can locate your unique point P in the plane. Means to locate a particular point in the plane, we need two perpendicular distances. Perpendicular distance from the vertical edge and also from the horizontal edge. So why are you talking about these edges? Because I suppose they are reference to me. Because to say anything we need some reference, you know very well. Yes, I have taken this vertical and horizontal edges which are perpendicular to each other or as a referral edges. But always we don't come across a board situation. So that here we take two perpendicular lines, one is a horizontal line, another one is a vertical line, as a reference lines. To explain the location of the point in the plane, we give the horizontal distance from the vertical line and vertical distance from the horizontal line. Of course, these two reference lines are known as axes. AXIS axis singular, AXES axis plural. So this horizontal reference line is x-axis and this vertical reference line is y-axis. And here these two axes are going to intersect at a point which is known as horizon. So now once look at this, here right of the horizon there is x-axis, similarly to the left of the horizon. Here above the horizon there is y-axis, similarly below the y-axis. So here once look at this situation, to locate a particular point in the plane, we have taken the combination of two perpendicular lines as a reference, and we are going to express the two perpendicular distances from the reference axis. This arrangement, this system that consists of two perpendicular lines in the plane to locate a particular point in the plane is known as coordinate system. Of course, these two perpendicular distances are known as coordinates. Look at this one. Here is the horizontal distance from the y-axis, which is represented as x, because here this distance is measured along x-axis. Here this vertical distance from the x-axis is represented by y, since this vertical distance from x-axis is measured along y-axis. So that is the reason why horizontal distance from y-axis represented as x, vertical distance from x-axis represented as y. Then these two distances will be helpful to locate the particular point in the plane. So they will be mentioned within open brackets separated by comma. So these x and y are known as coordinates of that particular point P. So coordinates means the two perpendicular distances from the reference axis. So x coordinate indicates horizontal distance from y-axis. Y coordinate indicates vertical distance from x-axis. So the coordinates of the particular point means the distances which are represented within open brackets separated by comma. So x comma y. And this combination is known as an ordered pair. In this ordered pair, the first one is x coordinate, which is also known as x coordinate. Shall I repeat? X coordinate, which is also known as abscissa here. Abscissa. And here this is y coordinate, which is also known as simply ordinate. But here the interesting point is your coordinate system. I told you a system consists of two perpendicular lines in a plane. To locate a particular point in the plane is known as a coordinate system. But this coordinate system divides your plane into four portions. Here is one portion, here is one portion, here is a portion, here is the portion. And each portion of the coordinate system is known as a quadrant. A quadrant. So here in this particular situation, your particular point is in first quadrant. Once look at this. Once look at this. Here is your coordinate system of x-axis and y-axis. Of course, you can write here as y dash and here as x dash. Now here it is the first quadrant Q1. Here is second quadrant Q2. Here is third quadrant Q3. and here is fourth quadrant Q4, and the point of intersection is origin. This is how the coordinate system divides the plane into four portions: first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Now, your particular point is in first quadrant, but the same point may be in the second quadrant or third quadrant at the same horizontal distance and vertical distance. For example, here horizontal distance is 3 meter, here vertical distance is 5 meter. You may find the point here 3 meter at a horizontal distance, 5 meter with vertical distance. Then how can you differentiate this particular point and this particular point? Hope you have understood. If x equal to 3, y equal to 5, with the same distances, you can locate another point here at x equal to 3 and y equal to 5. Then how can I differentiate these two different positions? That is the reason why, while mentioning the coordinate system, there were numbers that were mentioned on the positive line, +1, +2, +3, right of the origin, and left of the origin -1, -2, -3, and so on. Similarly, above the origin +1, +2, +3, and below the origin -1, -2, -3, and so on. So that if your particular point is in first quadrant, then your x coordinate is positive and y coordinate is also positive. But coming to the second quadrant, your x coordinate is negative but y coordinate is positive. Coming to the third quadrant, your x coordinate is negative and y coordinate also negative. Coming to the fourth quadrant, your x coordinate positive and y coordinate is negative. For example, if anybody has asked you, the coordinates of a point is -2, 3, then where will be the location of this point? With coordinates -2, 3, x coordinate negative, y coordinate is positive. So x negative, y positive will be in the second quadrant. So this point lies in second quadrant. Where it lies? -2 x coordinate means the horizon. Here you know this x coordinate represents the vertical distance from the horizontal distance from the y axis. So horizontal distance from y axis, as it is minus, you have to go to the left. And this y coordinate indicates vertical distance. Vertical distance is 3. Horizontal distance is -2, but vertical distance is 3. Means your point will be located here exactly. Because here it is -2 and here it is 3. This is the location of the point. Because here x coordinate means the horizontal distance 2 units, but negative. Y coordinate is vertical distance. So your point will be located here. So this is how the location of a point in the plane can be done using a coordinate system. Apart from this, of course, one more point. This point of intersection of the two reference axes is known as origin. Of course, the coordinates of origin will be x equal to 0 and y equal to 0. So this is how there will be an introduction to the concept of coordinate system. Apart from this, this coordinate system will help us to go for a diagrammatic representation for any mathematical equation. Of course, the mathematical equation should be in two variables. One is x, another one is y. Because usually in an ordered pair, there will be x coordinate and y coordinate. So that if any mathematical equation in two variables, such mathematical equations can be assigned to a diagrammatic representation using the coordinate system. Of course, such diagrammatic representations are called graphs. So a graph is a diagrammatic representation given to a mathematical equation. But anyway, just getting into the deeper concepts of coordinate system required for physics, this is all introduction. Now we discuss a little more detail about the coordinate system. Yes, once look at this here. Here, this is the coordinate system. X-axis and y-axis. Here is the origin. Now in this coordinate system, I have taken a particular point whose position coordinates are 2, 3. Let me join this point to the origin so that I have got a line that is passing through the origin. Now in this particular situation, your line that is passing through the origin is making some angle with the positive direction of x-axis. This line joining your particular point from origin is making some angle with the positive direction of x-axis. Then this angle explains about the inclination, or simply to say the slope of a line, which is represented by the letter m, slope, and which is given by the equation m equal to tan theta. Of course, something is running your mind. Sir, my line is not in this way. Of course, here is my line that is passing through origin. For example, here is my line. Yes, then the angle made by this line with the positive direction of x-axis, here to here, here to here, this total. Of course, you can suppose if this angle is alpha, for example, and here it is 90 already, the 90 plus alpha is the angle made by this line with the positive direction of x-axis. Then the slope can be written in the second case. In the second case, the slope will be equal to tan of 90 plus alpha. Because your line is going to make an angle 90 plus alpha with the positive direction of x-axis. This angle you should not take, because this is the negative direction of x-axis you have learnt already. So, if your line is going to make some angle with the positive direction of x-axis, then slope of that line is given by an equation m equal to tan theta. This is the point that what you need to understand about the slope of a line, which is represented by the letter m. Apart from this, once look at this different example here. Once look at this. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. I have taken two different points. One is A and another one is B here. Two different points in the plane, and there is a line joining A and B. I have got a line joining the two positions A and B. Of course, you can have the coordinates of A are x1 comma y1 and the coordinates of B are x2 comma y2, because every point in the plane can be located with two coordinates, A x1 comma y1, B x2 comma y2. Then in that situation, yes, this is x-axis, you write here somewhere. This is y-axis, you know this. If you extend this line joining A and B, certainly this line makes some angle with a positive direction of x-axis, Then still the slope of the line m equal to tan theta. Of course, theta greater than 90. You have got minimum basics of trigonometry in the earlier class. Apart from this, what you need to understand, if any line that is passing through the given points whose coordinates are x1, y1 and x2, y2. I repeat, my line is passing through two given points A and B, then the slope of the line can be written as y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. This is another point apart from tan theta. If you are not sure of the angle made by the line with positive direction of x-axis, you come across the equation y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Of course, every formula has its mathematical proof and explanation, which we are not requiring of that particular area. We need to come across the conclusions. Now, once look at your straight line. Here your straight line is going to cut the x-axis somewhere else and also cutting the y-axis. Now the point is, the point at which your straight line cuts x-axis is known as x-intercept, and the point at which your line cuts the y-axis is known as y-intercept. So when you are talking about any straight line where it is going to cut the coordinate axis, I mean x-axis and y-axis, such locations where your line is going to cut the coordinate axis are known as x-intercept and y-intercept. For example, here x-intercept is A. It means this horizontal distance will be A and this vertical distance suppose as B, which is y-intercept. Then your line equation can be written as x by A plus y by B equal to 1. If your line is going to have x-intercept A units and y-intercept B units, then your line equation is, the equation of that line is x by A plus y by B equal to 1. Apart from that, if this line has a slope m, then the equation of this particular line can be written as y minus y1 equal to m into x minus x1 is a line equation. This is all little bit more mathematical analysis that is required for us. All the proofs and the remaining analysis not at all required. Only the conclusions and the concept what you need to understand. So we discussed about the slope of a straight line that is given in the coordinate system. At the same time, if the line is passing through the two given points, how to find the slope? What are x-intercept and y-intercept? How will be the line equation if x-intercept A and y-intercept B is known? Of course, x and y remains as variables. And at the same time, if you know the slope of the line is m and is passing through one particular point, then the line equation is y minus y1 equal to m into x minus x1. In this particular situation, here your straight line is passing through origin. If you suppose like that, x1 equal to 0, y1 equal to 0, then you come across this line equation is y equal to mx. Because if any line passing through a particular point, then line equation is y minus y1 equal to m into x minus x1. Here your line is passing through P and also origin. P and also through origin. Origin means coordinates x1 equal to 0, y1 equal to 0. Why can't I write? Yes, I can write. Because my line is passing through both P and origin. So if I have written the coordinates of origin, y minus 0 equal to m into x minus 0. Y equal to mx. So any straight line that is passing through origin has a mathematical equation y equal to mx. This is what you need to understand. I repeat, any straight line that is passing through the origin will have a line equation given by y equal to mx. Apart from this, slope of the straight line in different cases, about x-intercept and y-intercept line equation. If a slope is known, the line equation. This is just an introduction class to the concept of coordinate system. Just an introduction class. But in the next class of a coordinate system, we connect these concepts of mathematics with the concepts of physics that already what you had learned in the earlier classes. Then you will come to know the significance of coordinate system in physics. Simply, if I am giving little concepts and the formula in mathematics, you don't feel something is there. Yes, certainly there is nothing is there to feel, yes, this is what. But you feel something it is coordinate system when you have connected this coordinate system to the concepts of physics. But to connect that, first of all, you should have some basic idea of the coordinate system. That is my intention, just I have taken an introduction class. So ultimately, our main topic is all about mathematics in physics. Here in this session, I explain about the concepts of coordinate system. Later I come to the concepts of trigonometry, and apart from that, two more different mathematical analytical tracks are there that we discuss in the coming classes. So this is all about for today. It's all about introduction to the coordinate system. That's all, only mathematics in physics required. Don't expect that I deal with complete mathematics in detail. No. Up to little concepts that are required for physics only I handle, and I will tell you how to apply in physics. That's all. So you will get more clarity about the significance of coordinate system in the next class. Meanwhile, go through this properly and try to go through the numerical applications that are mentioned in the worksheet of hydrostatics. Don't forget that. Okay? Take care.